Happiness of 1 minute.
Finally. Yes.
And
so
you have
I'll
to
make
make
it.
me co-host. Yeah, just the last thing. Sorry,
Done.
guys.
Done, Shivani. Over to you.
Thank you for all the patience. And I'll just now, without taking much time, share my screen and we'll get started. All right, please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, perfect. So now you have joined Toastmasters. Now what? New member orientation it is. And I would like to keep this session. We have an agenda in place and I will definitely run through all these items quickly. But since you all have been joining the meeting from, I think, almost a month or so for all three of you, so you have a fair idea of how Toastmasters meeting is all about. You definitely would have questions. While I run through the agenda, you will get some of your questions answered. But if you still have questions, I would like this session to be more of interactive. So you can just unmute and ask as many questions, right? So that once we are done with the session, you know exactly how you have to go about in your journey, right? So to start with, what are your goals? So when we join a Toastmasters club, we all have something in our minds, some goals, maybe a professional goal that, okay, I will learn communication and leadership skills here so that, in my office, I can work even better. I can get a promotion and I can be a good manager. So we all have some sort of goals. We have goals so that we can communicate better with our family and friends. We can express better. So there are some or the other goals that we come and join the club with. So if you have any specific goal that maybe you are not confident enough, maybe you have stage fear. So if there is any hiccups in your goal, try to tell your goals to the EC team or your mentor so that they know your goal and they can help you with it, right? So how can we support you? You can let us know your goals if you have any specific goals so that we can set the time frame. We can nudge you whenever we see that you are not in that direction of towards your goal. So we can together make sure that we are going towards the path of your goal and you achieve your goals. Now, coming to club meeting rules, I think this is the section that most of you already know. So I would like this to be more of interactive. So anyone can tell me what is the role of Toastmaster of the day, and I can add if anything is missed. The role of Toastmaster of the day.
I think he's the chair of that meeting. Like he runs the whole meeting and
Right.
engage different people with their
Right.
different roles.
Right. Anyone else with any other answer? What else Toastmaster of the day do?
He's like a host of the meeting of the day, and then he calls the participants at the different times whenever it
Right.
is required. Yeah. So, but I need more clarity on this, what exactly, because in yesterday's discussion, I found that you yourself being the TMOD, you have to tell some stories or what. So if
Exactly,
yeah.
that was I looking for. So when you are the Toastmaster of the day, both the answers are correct. You are the host of the meeting. So you will run the meeting from the very beginning till the end. You will introduce the role players. You will take care of everything. And you have to come up with the theme of the day. So whosoever is the Toastmaster of the day will nominate themselves for that role to the VP Education. And it's their choice what theme they want to keep. So if I take the role of Toastmaster of the day, I have to decide the theme of the meeting. Now, theme of the meeting is the general topic of discussion throughout the meeting, like you all have seen. It can be anything. It's totally dependent on Toastmaster of the day, what they want to be discussed in that meeting, what should be the theme. It can be anything. So if you take Toastmaster of the day, any of you three, you can come up with any theme. You can, if a festival is coming, it's just round the corner, you can make that festival a theme and people can just talk about Independence Day, Diwali, or any occasion that is just approaching. You can come up with a topic or a topic that you know a lot about and you want people to be aware of that topic, or you want to just give your knowledge and share your knowledge on that topic. So for example, our president Hitansha is a psychology student, so she knows a lot about psychology and different points under that we can help help us improve our mental health. So if she's the Toastmaster of the day, she comes with that topic. She has a lot of knowledge and she is here to share with us in the form of the theme of the meeting. And so on. You can just think of any fun topic, interactive games, anything. So whenever we come up with the theme, as a Toastmaster of the day, we learn how to keep the session going and how to make the session interactive, ask question to the audience. So when you are the host, it teaches you all the aspects of how to run a meeting smoothly. So here you practice that, so that when the time comes, you are the host of a meeting wherein there are 400, 500 guests, or a meeting wherein your boss is coming from outside and you have to host a meeting in your office. So you are able to run the meeting smoothly with confidence, are able to manage things. So Toastmaster of the day, you learn all of these aspects. You are the host, you welcome people, you take care of the timings, you ensure that the entire meeting runs smoothly. If someone is having some last minute hiccups or unable to join, so you still smoothly manages to take care of the floor. If someone is dropping off due to some technical issue, you still cover that time very smoothly by talking about anything else, about the theme, or just swiftly shifting to the next section, and so on. So that is the role of Toastmaster of the day in detail. Any questions in this particular role? Because other roles I think you all have started taking, but not this one. So if you have any questions, let me know, or maybe you can just take the role and see how it goes. Right?
What are the time limits for this role?
There is no time limits, but we do have if you see the agenda, VP Education do give time for your theme specified. So for it varies from different meeting to meeting, but the ideal timing of the meeting is, for example, 12 o'clock, the meeting is started and the president hands over the stage, presiding officer hands over the stage to Toastmaster of the day at 12:15 or 12:20. Then, the initial 5-10 minutes can be Toastmaster of the day telling about their theme, and then starting with the prepared speeches section. If there are 3-4 speeches, in between the speeches also you can take 1 or 2 minutes about talking about your theme. And then after that also, once the prepared speech section is finished, you can take 2-3 minutes about your theme, talk about it, and then we have table topic section. So there is no specified time, but you have to make sure that the entire, like the agenda you cover in that 2 hours from 12 to 2 p.m. So if it's 1:30 p.m. and you see the evaluation section is not yet started, the last section, so you quickly wrap up your theme of the day and you quickly hand over the stage to general evaluator for evaluation section, so that in that last 20-30 minutes everything can be covered well and we wrap up the meeting timely at 2 p.m. So it is in Toastmaster of the day's hand to see the timing and go, make the live decision. Yes, Riya.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask like how the meeting starts, like who is the first person
Sure.
that speak, and then I think so presiding officer takes the role and explains the.
Yes.
Can you also explain that you are explaining the Toastmaster role with this thing?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so before we go into each role, because we have these many roles, right? These are the roles that we will discuss in detail. But what I will do is I will start, like Riya asked, from the very beginning. So when the meeting starts, can anyone tell who starts the meeting? Who is the first person who speaks in the meeting? Just you can take the name also of the person who currently starts the meeting.
I think Toastmaster of the day only he starts the
No.
meeting.
No.
In the meetings, usually you, Shivani, or Toastmaster Ashish start the meeting. I don't know the role. No.
Okay, if me or Ashish has started the meeting, that's not starting the meeting. We have taken the presiding officer role in absence of president. So now I'll tell you who starts the meeting, who is the first speaker of the meeting. That's Sergeant at Arms. So we have EC team, and there is this one role in EC team. We will come to that later when we will discuss leadership roles. So the Sergeant at Arms in our club currently is Toastmaster Mohit. So Toastmaster Mohit, if you remember, starts the meeting, tells the mission statement, a club's mission, and then tells the golden rules of, keep your phone on switched off or silent mode, don't talk about sex, religion, and so on. So now, can anyone recall that bit?
Yeah, true.
All
It's
right.
Mohit.
It's Mohit. Yes, Mohit is currently serving as SAA. SAA means Sergeant at Arms. So SAA starts the meeting, tells the housekeeping rules, club mission statement, and then hands over the stage to presiding officer. Presiding officer is someone who is usually, most of the time, is the president of the club. Can anyone tell me who is the president of the club?
Hitansha.
Hitansha.
Yes, Hitansha is the club's president. She has moved from, she was living here in Faridabad and used to join here from here itself. Now she has moved to Bangalore for her studies in Christ University, and she tries to join the meeting, but somehow now we have come up with the new way that we will have rotation presiding officer, because she might not be able to join timely. So if she joins, she's the president, she's the presiding officer. However, if she's unable to join, she will cast some other EC member in prior to take the presiding officer role. Presiding officer's role is, I'll tell you the responsibility. So they will welcome everyone, they will welcome the guest and take the guest introduction. So in every meeting, there are few people who are joining for the very first time, who are joining as a guest. They are not the members. There are Toastmasters coming from other clubs also. For example, in yesterday's meeting, our general evaluator from Infosys Chandigarh club. So such way, the presiding officer welcome everyone, take introduction from the guest, and they give any announcements. So if someone won the Toastmaster of the Month award, someone has completed any level, so they will congratulate them. They will give all the members any sort of news in the district level or any upcoming events. So for example, yesterday's meeting, I was talking about renewals, that we have renewals coming up. And we have, for example, evaluation mock contest coming up. So presiding officer will give the news of the club to all the members in the very beginning. Okay, so that is the role of presiding officer. And then presiding officer will adjourn the meeting, will start the meeting and officially announce that the meeting is started, and then hands over the stage with an introduction to Toastmaster of the day. Then Toastmaster of the day will run through the meeting and how they will talk about their theme. They will welcome everyone, talk about the theme. They will tell the agenda of the meeting. They will, for the benefit of the guests who don't know how a usual Toastmaster meeting looks like, they will tell that there is the first section is prepared speeches section, in which the speaker will come prepared with the speech for their particular purpose of the speech, right? And then there is the second section, which is also open for the guest to participate. That is table topic section, which is an impromptu speaking section. You will get a topic and you have to think on feet and speak on that. And then there is an evaluation section in which the Toastmasters who will give the constructive feedback and will let you know. And in the evaluation section, there is a general evaluator and his team, that is the tag team, timer, counter, and grammarian. And we also have active listener. So these are all the roles, and this is how the meeting goes about. So Toastmaster of the day in the very beginning will tell everyone how the meeting flow will look like, and then talk about theme, and then go about the meeting. So any questions till now? Because I think other roles will not take much of time, because you guys are already familiar. You have observed other people taking up the role and also have started taking the role as well. All right, if no questions, I'll move further. Grammarian, as we all know, grammarian's responsibility is to keep the tab on the grammar and the English language, how each speaker in the meeting is using the English language. It would be both the good usages and not so good usages. We prefer not to call mistakes in our meeting. We don't say, grammarian will not say, I will tell you the mistakes. We prefer to say not so good usage. So a grammarian will keep a tab on whosoever is using good phrases, good words, good English language, and will also keep a note of not so good usage and will tell how they can improve. So if there is a grammar mistake, someone use past tense, or it should be something else. So they will tell the incorrect usage and also will tell how it should have been, right? It's a grammarian's responsibility to introduce the word of the day and the idiom of the day in the beginning, and will encourage everyone to please use the word of the day and the idiom of the day. And whosoever will use the word of the day or idiom of the day, we show a thumbs up sign as a motivation. So this is also one of the things. Whenever you see someone using the word of the day, we will show a thumbs up, either the icon as a reaction, or you can, if your video is on, you can just show the thumbs up. So this is the role of grammarian. Moving ahead to a counter. Any questions, just unmute and keep coming in, keep shouting it out. Coming to a counter.
In grammarian role,
yeah.
Do we need to name the person, or it's like only we have to tell the
when we are doing the good usage, it's totally up to grammarian, but what is recommended, I will let you know. We suggest to be motivating whichever role we are in. So if we are a grammarian, we'll try to tell the good usage by taking the names. Toastmaster Mohit said this in the meeting, that was lovely. Used metaphor, we'll state what he said like this. But when we are using not so good usage, we can say someone said this, we'll not take the names until unless you think that it is required, or it is something that will help the other person, but in an encouraging manner. But most of the times we prefer someone said this in terms of incorrect or not so good usage. Okay.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah. For a counter, we do take names for a counter so that the person knows how they are improving in their ers and ums and filler words. Because I personally write it down in my notes that in this meeting I have used this much of time, so that I make sure in the next meeting I'm at least improving with a number, one or two numbers. Maybe in this meeting I've used 5 ers, I'll make sure in the next meeting it's 3 or 4. And if it's 8 or 10, then it means that I need to have practice more, come more prepared, be more confident. So, and I can reflect on my report. So a counter will do take names. But what suggestion here is, so a counter's responsibility is not just to for example, Ashish, you were the counter yesterday, so this was one of the suggestion, and hence this session is required. A counter will keep the tab of not just us, all these the 3 sounds, and the filler words like, well, and, but. So all these filler words are also being taken the note by a counter. They will write, Shivani said 6 times, she said like 3 times and 4 times. So whenever there is a use of a filler word, inappropriate use of filler word, where you see the other person is thinking of their next line and then using but, so at that point we will write. But if you see a use of and in between 2 sentences, that is the correct usage of and. So whenever there is an inappropriate use of filler word, we will keep it note of it. And in the end, when we are telling the report, we will say Toastmaster Shivani used 4 ers, 3 ums, 2 times and 4 times but. And the suggestion here for all of you is, whenever you take a counter role, for example, if I am the Toastmaster of the day and I'm a new member in the club, in my speaking journey, I use a lot of ers and ums. I said, if you are a very good counter and you're listening very nicely, you noticed that I used 20 times I used 15 times, But since I'm a new member in the club, as a counter, I will not, since the counter is requested not to be discouraging, or because when they say 25 times, or 17 times that might discourage, demotivate, or maybe the other person gets too much into self-evaluation. Oh, I have to work so much on myself. So what we suggest to do is we keep the tab of 5+. So whenever someone use, no matter how many number of times, we say 5+ times, let's try not to say more than 10 times. So we can, if someone is using in your report says using more than 30 times, you can say 10 plus times just for the other person to know, but we won't exceed the double digit because that might, the other person will definitely, if the other person comes to you specifically to ask the correct exact number of how many times they have spoken, but, and then you can tell them for their benefit. But when you are presenting your report, you will say 3 times, 5 plus times, 5 plus times like, and so on. And we have a Excel sheet as well for this. So if you are taking the counter role for the first time, you can ask VP Education to give you the script as well as the log. So a counter script and the Excel file, so that you can just fill in the names, the number of counts in that, and share your screen while presenting the report. Okay, coming to the timer.
One more question, sorry.
Yeah, please.
Do we have any definition of this R counter? Usually what we put at the beginning of this when we are taking the role, is it any prepared definition of this, or we can put it? Okay.
We have, that's exactly what you have to take from our VP Education.
Got it.
I'll just show you an example of a counter's script, but this is similar for each and every role. You just have to Google it or find it in the Toastmasters website. It's extremely handy. So a counter or tag team will come twice on the floor. First, in the beginning of the meeting when called upon by general evaluator, when they will introduce their role. And second time when they will give their report. So the first time when they will come on the stage, they will introduce their role. So this is the introduction for a counter. And similarly, we have for timer grammarian as well. So this is saying the purpose of a counter is to note the words and sounds and crutch and pause filler by anyone who speaks. I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, sounds like right? Any repetition of word. So this is what you have to say in the beginning. Okay, Ashish?
Got it. Thanks.
Perfect. So I'll just close this. Coming back to our PPT. Moving ahead to timer. Timer's responsibilities.
I just wanted to supplement one point regarding our counter, Shivani, with your permission.
Sure.
Here, what's very important is to count the word as a filler. Sometimes as a counter, what we have seen is that people start counting all the ands or all the buts. Not necessarily all the ands and buts are the fillers. Sometimes they are a conjunction and they are required to kind of form the sentence fully. So the idea of the role is to see what is becoming the crutch word of the person. Crutch is like, is a crutch for many, right? And sometimes and is a crutch for someone who doesn't realize that it's becoming a crutch for them. So please exclude and but when it's a normal usage as a conjunction. It's not that Toastmaster hate ands and buts. No, it's not like that.
Right.
It's because sometimes it becomes a crutch word for a person is something which is avoidable. Thanks, Shivani, back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashish, for that. Moving ahead to timer. Timer is someone who keeps the control of timing and helps everyone to know their time, although there are specified times. So a prepared speech is usually, not always, but usually it's 5 to 7 minutes. If it's an icebreaker speech, the person is giving their very first speech, then it's 4 to 6 minutes. Usually it's 5 to 7 minutes. And if there is some exception, then there is a different timings. So if it's a 5 to 7 minutes, the timer will show green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. If it's table topics, then and for evaluation is 2 to 3 minutes, green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2.5 minutes, and at 3 minutes, red card, until the speaker is finished. So in evaluation and the prepared speech, you have 30 seconds grace period, both on the lower end as well as on the upper end. So if, for example, I am a prepared speaker and it's 5 to 7 minutes, but I spoke only till 4 minutes, 30 seconds, then I will be qualified. And if I speak till 7 minutes 30 seconds, then also it's fine. So the 30 seconds are the grace period for evaluation as well as for the prepared speech. However, for table topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes, green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1.5 minute, and red card at 2 minutes. But there in table topics, there is no grace period at the lower end. You have to speak for at least 1 minute, and there is a 30-second grace period at the upper end. So it can go till 2 minutes 30 seconds to be eligible. But to be eligible, you have to speak for minimum 1 minute. So this is the timing criteria. For the timing as well, there is a script on Toastmasters website. There are timing cards that you can share, and as well as a log wherein you can just write the timings. Any questions keep coming in? Moving ahead to table topic speaker.
Yeah, so I have a question regarding the timer rule. So I have like for the speeches part, do the speaker need to set the timing? Like I remember for yesterday's meeting, you took around 10 to 12 minutes.
Yeah. I'll show you.
But normally I think so it's from 4 to 6 minutes. Yeah.
You can see my screen, right? I have opened evaluation form.
The problem is that we can only see your presentation, not any other, not any other document that you are showing.
Oh, I'll just quickly show you then. So sorry, guys. Okay, I'll show the script also then. So this, you can see my screen now, evaluation form.
Yeah.
This was my yesterday's evaluation form where the allotted speech time officially for this project, this speech is 10 to 12 minutes. Otherwise, here it is always 5 to 7 minutes written. For icebreaker, the very first speech of pathways, it is 4 to 6 minutes. But most of the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. That's the standard one. Since this was the last speech, that's why it was 10 to 12 minutes. Okay. So this is what we give to evaluator. This is how it looks. I'll tell you about this as well later.
These kind of sheets we need to get from
I'll tell you. I'll come to that part. Okay. It's there on the pathways itself that we will just in few minutes start. Okay, now I'll just quickly show you the counter script as well, which got missed because of screen share issue. Now you can see our counter script. Can anyone confirm?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what is there on Toastmasters website for a counter, grammarian, timer. In any role, there is a script. So when you are called upon by general evaluator to explain your role, you can speak these lines. All right. Okay, I'll just quickly coming back to the presentation. Table topic speaker, any guest can participate as well, and they have to speak for minimum 1 minute on the given topic. Table topic master is someone who will bring up the table topics, that is the and it is suggested that the topics should be in sync with the theme of the day. But if they are not, it's the theme of the day is totally opposite and there is something else also going on, then it's totally up to table topic master what they want to come up with. But it's usually so that if the word of the day, idiom of the day, grammarian has to choose, that should also be in sync with the theme. If it's the table topic master, they have it's advisable that they come up with the topics which are in sync with the theme of the day. However, they can also choose otherwise. For example, I'll give you an example. The theme of the day is something else, but it's summer vacation time going on, or it's a cricket World Cup going on. So there are other hot topics also going on. So table topic master can, divide the topics by keeping the few topics in sync with the theme, few topics in sync with, the summer vacation or the season that is going on, or maybe it's too cold. So, some topics, or if it's monsoon, so some topics related to monsoon maybe. And if, the ongoing sports or ongoing news, something that's very much in the news, can keep some topics in sync with that. So it's totally up to the table topic master what topics they will, and they can come up with very generalized topic also, right? Any quote or anything for members to, or any situation. So it's totally up to the table topic master, but it's mostly advisable that the topics are in sync with the theme of the day. Moving ahead to the speaker, speaker comes up with, I will cover this speaker bit more in detail, but a speaker's responsibility is to take the speech slot, prepare the speak, because it's the prepared speech. So they have a particular level and a project. We will come to that bit later, but a speaker's responsibility is to make sure that they have a speech title, introduction, the details of the speech to the Toastmaster of the day. They give the evaluation form to the evaluator. And if they have any specific point that they want to get evaluated on, they let the evaluator know well in advance. So this is the basics of a speaker. We will go into pathways and how a project and all of that in detail when we cover pathways. Coming to evaluator, to be eligible to be an evaluator, you have to complete your level 1 project 2. So, and then after that, anyone can be an evaluator. Evaluator is something that requires, I will just tell in short, but there can be a whole session that we can do just on evaluation. But basically, evaluator is advised to use a CRC approach, that is commendation, recommendation, and commendation. So you have to observe the speech in a manner that you see all the good points. You start with encouraging and motivating member with all the good points. In the middle, or if it's 2 to 3 minutes, you can have first 1.5 minutes for the commendations. Then you come to the recommendations, and at least have 2 or 3 recommendations for the speaker, so that they can on the areas of improvement that you observed in the speech, so that they can actually take away something on which they can work upon, right? And then you have to end your evaluation with on a positive note and an encouraging note. Only I am not going in detail right now, but one thing as an evaluator to keep in mind, whenever you are giving your evaluation, just make sure that you speak in a way that the speaker comes back to give the speech again. So the primemost thing is that you are encouraging and motivating, and the speaker feels motivated to come again and give the speech. It totally depends on how the evaluator is evaluating and giving the report, that the speaker decides to speak again or not. So, and it is a very supportive and positive learning platform that we have in Toastmasters. So we will always advise the evaluator to be motivating, encouraging. However, on the same end, give some constructive feedback so that they can improve on. Honest, yet motivating and encouraging. All right. Coming to general evaluator leads the evaluation section. So general evaluator will call timer, counter, and grammarian. So that's the tag team comes for a general evaluator. So it's general evaluator's responsibility to introduce their team as well. So, and general evaluator will evaluate the meeting from the very beginning till the end. So general evaluator will note down all the minute things as well. The meeting started on time or not. So if it's a 12 o'clock starting time, but the meeting starts at 12:10 or 12:15, it's not a healthy habit. So they will advise that, they will point that out and advise that from the next time onwards, let's try to work on this, because time is also very important aspect. So general evaluator will observe each and every minor details of the meeting, whether the meeting was running smoothly or not, will give their feedback for Toastmaster of the day, as well as they will evaluate the evaluator, whether the speech evaluator was evaluating any feedback for them. So if a speech evaluator is just giving the positives and giving one or no recommendation, then general evaluator will point that out and say, we should always give recommendations. Or if you see an evaluator who is just maybe too much towards the negative, pointing out the negatives or the areas of improvement, and there were not a healthy balance of positives. So then also general evaluator will point that out, and they will tell the positives of the speech and balance it out. And general evaluator will also see that how the table topic section went, table topic master, table topic speakers, and so on. So this is the role of general evaluator. They don't evaluate the speech. So if you are a general evaluator, you don't have to in your report tell how the speaker did. You have to tell about the speech or a speaker only if evaluator missed some point. So if you think that this was great in a speaker, or this was something that needs to be improved, and that particular part is not covered by the evaluator, then we will, as a general evaluator, do mention that. Okay, now coming to pathways. We have completed the meeting roles. Now coming to pathways. Pathways learning experience. There are 11 unique paths to help you achieve your goal. Now, instead of the presentation, the pathways bit I will do from the Toastmasters website itself. Let me know if you can see my screen, Toastmasters website, or should I stop sharing and share again?
We can't see your screen.
Okay, you just see the presentation.
That Toastmaster, Shivani, just one question. What this
Yeah.
pathway is about? Like, what is this pathway? Is this different from Toastmaster?
No, pathways is the education part of Toastmasters. It is on the Toastmasters website only. I'll quickly share my screen. You will get your questions answered. Pathways is the educational program, the name of educational program of Toastmasters. Okay. I'll quickly share my screen to show you the website now. I have logged in from my credentials. Once this session is over, you can log in with your credentials and choose your path. And I will now show you how to choose the path. Can someone just quickly confirm if you can see the website?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm logged into the Toastmasters website. In general, also, Toastmasters website is amazing. It has a lot of articles, a lot of resources. Just go and in your free time, just go and run through the website, see, just toggle around and see. There is a lot of good things and a lot of knowledge that you can gain from the website itself. However, now we will come to pathways. You see the tab education programs. We will go here. We will go to pathways. So you see, welcome to pathways. This is how it looks. They have changed a lot of things. So now you see pathways, and why? Just a second. So now, as we were mentioning, there are 11 paths. So you see dynamic leadership, effective coaching, engaging humor, and so on. There are so many different paths: innovative planning, presentation mastery, team collaboration. So if you are a manager in your organization and you want to know more about leadership, so you can go with dynamic leadership, leadership development. You want to improve on your presentation skills, presentation mastery. You want to improve on your humor, so engaging humor, and so on. There are so many. Your strategic relationships, persuasive influence, visionary communication. But now, many a times when a new member joins in, they feel that how to know which path is more appropriate to me. I find all 11 of them very nice when I read about them. When I read this, that this will help you as a strategic leader, understand leadership and communication skills. So all the description seems very helpful to me. How will I come to a conclusion that which one to go about, right? So in that case, we have assessment. Okay, so they have just changed over the weekend, I believe, changed some tabs here. So I was just searching for this. So there is choose a path. So when you click on choose a path, since you are a new member, you will get this screen. Once you click on choose the path, select your preferences. You will go with English language from the drop down. How would you like to access your material? You will select digital resources. Select digital resources. And then this amazing thing, take an online assessment. This view all paths, we have already viewed all paths. You know the names, you can see the description. And if you have already made up a mind just through the description, you can just go and quickly select that path. But if you are confused which pathway to take, you can take an online assessment. So let's just click on take assessment and continue. Start English language, start. Now, this assessment is amazing. They will ask you some questions and they will suggest you a path as per your answers. So select 3 topics you are interested in learning about from the list below. For example, I will just quickly fill up a form in front of you. I will go with public speaking, leadership, and networking. Next. Which of the following topics is most related to the personal and professional goals that brought you to Toastmasters? Leadership for me. I'll go next. Learning about dash will help me significantly in my personal or professional life. Learning about networking will help me. So, so on, we will just take this assessment. I will close because there is this time crunch, but let me know if you have any questions till here. So if you will fill this form, they will suggest you the top 3 paths that are apt for you and as per your answers, so that you can make up a mind and go with the path by selecting that. Any questions till now?
Yes, Toastmaster Shivani.
Yes.
Where you have selected this leadership and the 3 options, actually, there was a topic, for example, change management.
Yeah.
How do I get exactly what is there in change management? Because for me, definition of change management is something else. I'm not sure whether the same applies here.
Same applies, because if you select change management, they will, incline you towards that path which has some project or some speech related to that purpose. You
No, I
getting
want to
me?
understand what is the definition of change management as per Toastmaster. What exactly do they tell when it's change management? See, I'm coming from a manufacturing background here. So for me, change management is something else.
You let me know your definition of change management, because change management as per in corporate, it's similar to what in Toastmasters. There is no difference. Change management is same. They will tell you, there is a, for example, there is a speech that will tell you to prepare a speech related to change management, or how that kind of bit. Uh, they will help you with that purpose to make you learn more about change management. So you know it goes by that, but this is just your answers. It's not that change management will, your entire level or a project will be related to change management. That is something that you will learn in that particular path, maybe somewhere in some of the speech. So depending on your answers, you will get the suggestion from Toastmasters that this path is more apt for you.
And
So,
Shivani, once we, okay, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Ashish, do you want to ask another question?
No, that's all.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask that once we selected a particular pathway, what happens?
That becomes your path and your journey. So suppose here you have selected the path. So you just chose the path, you pressed continue, so you selected the path. For example, you selected the path dynamic leadership. Now that is your path, and I will show you my platform, how it looks like. So you have selected the path and then you go to Basecamp. So this button, go to Basecamp, is where you can see your path, where you are at your path, your levels and projects. So we will go to the Basecamp. Just a second. Okay, so I will click on go to Basecamp. So you will see this similar screen when you have selected your path. Access my path through Basecamp. You will select you will have your club, Eloquent Toastmasters Club here, and you will click on Go to Basecamp. This is how it looks. You will click on Paths and Learning Education Script. And since you have selected Dynamic Leadership Path, this will come up like this. You will click on Open Curriculum. This is how it will look. So level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, path completion. So in level 1, there are icebreaker, evaluation and feedback, research and presenting, and then the level 1 is completed. So in icebreaker, you will launch, it is all about, yourself. Let's just see how research and presenting looks like. So for all of this, you have to launch, and there is a material you can go and read about. So we can read about level 2 also. Let's see. Let's click on launch to the project of level 2, understanding your leadership style. So you have to complete these 4 minimum required speeches to get your level completed. Right? So for example, I have just started my level 2 and understanding your leadership style is here. I'll click on launch to see what exactly is required in this project. What is the purpose of the project? I'll click on launch and show you how it looks. I'm showing you for just one, but this is similar for all the levels, all the projects. You will have a material provided by Toastmasters to explain you what is required in that path. So now I have just launched. This is the introduction. You can, whenever you're free, you can read as well, like word to word read as well. But we will just quickly run through right now. So I have picked the project for leadership qualities. So the purpose of this project is to identify your primary leadership styles. Overview, 5 to 7 minute speech, club meeting to share your aspect of leadership styles, and so on. So they are telling you what needs to be done in your speech. What is the purpose? What is the objective? So you will read from here. There is this project checklist that you can download. There is this assess your skills before. So currently, before giving the speech, where do you see yourself? So currently I see myself at 1, I have chosen, this is already selected, at 3, and then 3, where I am currently. And then you will see how to prepare the speech. What are the leadership styles? What are the purpose of leadership? Attributes of successful leader. So this is basically the material that Toastmasters platform is providing you to help you prepare your speech, to understand the purpose, to understand the objective of leadership, right? So lead by example, be optimistic, open-minded, styles of leadership, effective use. Now, again, you have prepared your speech. Now it's time to give the speech and download the evaluation resource. So I download the evaluation resource, and this is how the evaluation form for the understanding your leadership style looks like. It has the purpose statement. So you will provide this speech form, this evaluation form, to your evaluator, the assigned evaluator in the agenda. So before the speech, before the meeting, you will see the agenda circulated by VP Education. You will know who your evaluator is. So just give this form to the evaluator. So we have a WhatsApp group of each meeting. When you take a role or give a speech, you get added to that WhatsApp group. So in that group, you can just share your speech title, your evaluation form, and your details that it is the level 2 project 1 speech of dynamic leadership path. So this is what you have to provide to the evaluator.
And you mentioned that we need to be a level 2, we need to complete level 2 of any part to be an evaluator.
Not level 2, we have to complete, we have to, I'll show you. We have to complete this level 1 evaluation and feedback.
Okay.
You will give your icebreaker. Evaluation and feedback is 3 speeches. You will give a speech, first speech, then you will give a second speech where you will incorporate the feedback from the first speech,
Okay.
and give the speech again. And then third part is you will be the evaluator for the first time. Once you have done all these three activities, these, 2 speeches and 1 time evaluator, then you will mark your evaluation and feedback complete.
So
Once you,
basically,
yeah,
one icebreaker plus 2 speeches and then feedback.
then plus 2 speeches and then evaluator for another person, another icebreaker maybe. And then you can be an ongoing evaluator for
Oh,
any prepared speech, happens in our club. Okay. This one, level 1 project 2, right? Okay. Where I am. Are you able to see my screen? No.
No.
Okay, just a second. Sorry. God, stop. We were. Oh God, sorry. So sorry. Yeah, we were here. So we downloaded the evaluation resource, and now you can assess your skills after. So since I've already done so, it's showing this, but the similar questions that were asked before are now asked after, and you can see where you stand now with those questions. I'm able to identify leadership styles before I selected 1, after I selected 4. I recognize my preferred leadership style before I selected 3, after I selected 4, and so on. And then your project for level 2 project 1 is completed. Since you have delivered the speech, so it's completed. Any questions still here? This was one that I have shown in detail, but all of them looks like this. You will launch them and you will see the details. This is the pathways, guys. The first speech is icebreaker. Icebreaker is to tell about yourself, to introduce you to your club and the skills you need to begin your Toastmasters journey. You just have to, in icebreaker speech, you just have to introduce yourself, your life journey, your childhood, your, whatever you're doing right now, whatever your beliefs are. So basically the members know you well. And you, from this icebreaker speech, you also learn the basic structure of the speech, the introduction, the body, and the conclusion, how to write a speech. So very basic. The first speech is to tell about yourself and to learn how to write the speech. Yeah.
So I know there is no particular timeline given for completing a pathway or a level, but still, like, how much time it normally takes a person to complete particular
So
pathway?
that's exactly what I did mention in my yesterday's speech when I was reflecting on my path. It's not defined and it's totally on the Toastmaster, person to person. There is no defined time, but it is advisable that we take roles. It is equally important to take roles in the club. You take a counter timer, the auxiliary roles, you take the Toastmaster of the day, table topic master, and you give speech. So having a good balance of it all. So if I'll tell you the scenarios that I have seen in my past many years, I have seen people who just want the name of completing levels. So I do have seen people who want to give back-to-back speeches. They are not implementing or executing the feedback that they get. They just, for the sake of completing levels, they are completing levels. But we are not here for that, right? We are here to genuinely improve in our journeys. So if we really want to complete levels, we can do it. We can give speeches in external clubs. We can just do it in a 1 week also. There are meetings happening every hour, every hour in Toastmasters International. Once you are a paid member of a club, you are the Toastmaster, you can join meeting in any club worldwide. And since now we are having online meetings also, you can join meeting anywhere. So if you want to complete levels and you are in some sort of rush to complete levels, you can have back-to-back meetings in any other club also. So there is Sunday morning, there is the club Millennium City Toastmasters Club. Saturday you give in our club Eloquent. Sunday morning there, Sunday evening in some other club, and so on. So giving speeches is not something that is important, but we are here to improve. Giving speeches is advisable that you don't become passive. So there are people who from 6 months, from 1 year, they are members, but they have not given one speech. So what is advisable is you take Toastmaster of the day today. In the next meeting, you take table topic master. In next meeting, you give one speech. In next meeting, you take an auxiliary role player. In the next meeting, you again give speech, and so on. So that you get a good, so you write the speech, you prepare your speech. Once you feel you are ready, you give the speech. You book your speech slot well in advance. So amazing thing by our VP Education that you can book your slots well in advance. So if yesterday we had the meeting 10th of September, I want to give speech on 24th. So I have good enough time to prepare my speech, 2 weeks, right? So I book in advance my speech slot for 24th. Meanwhile, in 17th September meeting, I can take a role. I can be a evaluator. I can be a timer, a counter. So you can take roles when you feel you are not ready for speech. If your speech is ready, book your speech slot and give the speech. Speeches will help you improve drastically, so the roles as well. So if you think that timer role or counter role, each role plays its own learning and gives its own learning. So active listening requires a lot of attention, right? Evaluator requires a lot of dedication to actually observe each and everything in the speech, because when you are an evaluator, high chances that you be the audience, you just enjoy speech and you forget to note the good points and the areas of improvements. You don't actually observe, you just enjoy speech. But no, as an evaluator, we have to be the audience. We have to enjoy the speech as well as make sure that we have to evaluate, observe, and give a feedback at the end. So this is the difference. We have learning in each and every role as well as the speeches. There is no defined timeline to answer your question specifically, but we should give at least one speech in a month, or maybe as per your time, your convenience, and your preparation. But whenever you come on stage, make sure you come fully prepared and do justice to your speech. You actually, if you get areas of improvement in your next speech, you actually implement and work on that feedback. So this is my personal advice. But yes, you can, it totally depends on you when you want to complete. So it took me 2 years to complete a path, right? Same thing can one of you can complete in 6 months also to complete a path. So it totally depends on person to person, how you see yourself in your journey. And yeah, that's all. Any question particularly to pathways, to levels, or anything?
Yeah, so I have a question. So you told that we can book our slot well in advance. So
Right.
the Google form is shared somewhere, or it's just like we have to
In
log
our
our.
WhatsApp group, if you see,
Okay.
there is a role calendar that comes up. If you are active on WhatsApp group, club members group, ETC club members group, you see Sudhir having a Excel spreadsheet screenshot,
Yeah,
right, with the meeting number and the date on the top and the role players and their names.
but
So
like that Excel is not shared with anyone, and like
no, not Excel is not shared,
okay.
but in the WhatsApp group, you see white blank against. So right now I do see, I can just quickly forward on the WhatsApp group if you all have phones in your hand. I am doing it right now.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so I've just forwarded the message again of Sudhir's last message. So in 17 September, we see a lot of white blank spaces. So it means all of these are blank. So for example, Ria or Preeti, some of you, one of you want to take timer role or counter role or TTM, since you have, I think you guys have not taken that till now, and you want to try something new role. So you, for example, Ria, you go and you choose table topic master role, and we see it's white and blank. So you just write on this, reply to this message, tagging Sudhir or just saying, I want to nominate for TTM. It will be noted down since you have messaged in the WhatsApp group, right? So this is how we take the roles. We do have roll calls at the end of the meeting also, if we have time. If you must have seen, at the end of the meeting, you can nominate for the next meeting, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any other questions? If there are no questions, this was for all for the pathways on the website. I can quickly stop sharing my screen and reshare by opening the presentation again. You can keep asking questions as they come. If even after the meeting, when the question comes, you can just reach out to me or any other EC member. Okay, now coming to mentoring. So I don't know, you all know your mentors or not? Let me know. Did Sudhir told you about your mentor?
In my memory, no.
Yes.
Who said yes?
Toastmaster Preeti.
Preeti, you know your mentor?
It's you only, Shivani.
It's me, right? And Ria, you know your mentor?
No, not exactly.
Okay, so what we can do is we can ask our VP Education once again to assign you a mentor. Maybe, Preeti joined before, so that's why she has been assigned and not you, Ria or Ashish. But each and every member have an assigned mentor. Mentorship plays a very important role. The mentor-mentee relation plays a very important role. For example, Preeti wants to give icebreaker speech in the next meeting or next to next meeting. Uh, she has to give the icebreaker speech on 24th, just an example. And I am Preeti's mentor. So what Preeti can do is she has booked the speech slot to Toastmaster Sudhir on the WhatsApp group. So now the speech slot is booked. She has good enough 2 weeks to prepare. She will start writing her icebreaker speech. She can call me and we can have a brief chat on the beginning before she starts writing. Then she will take her 1 week to write the speech. Then she will on 20 or 21st, she will prepare her speech document, or she will have a call with me and she will get it reviewed by me well in advance, so that if I see something that needs to be improved on, I can share my feedback well in advance. So when on Saturday Preeti delivers speech, she has already incorporated her mentor's feedback and she's fully prepared with the draft, the speech content, as well as on the delivery style she has practiced, because Preeti will get good enough time from 20th to 23rd to actually practice the speech in front of a mirror, or by recording the video, or by just speaking in front of any family member or friends. On 24th, when you will deliver the speech in the club meeting, high chances that you have already done so much work that you will deliver a great speech. And then the best thing is you will get a good evaluation by a great evaluator that is assigned to you in the meeting. And you will again get a constructive feedback, areas to improve on, and the great things that you have done. So that evaluation will help you improve in your next speech that she might plan to give on in October, maybe after 2-3 weeks, right? So this is how the timeline and this is how the mentor-mentee relationship in terms of speech goes about. But a mentor is your go-to person. A mentor is someone you can just ping and ask any random question about Toastmasters, about how you feel about yourself in the meeting. You can just share that, I was extremely nervous. I was not fully prepared. How to prepare well, tips and tricks, your how you feel while giving the speech, or how you feel when you started and how you feel now. You can, about the speech content, any guidance on how to draft a speech, and about even on getting details about any role. So for example, if you're a Toastmaster of the day for the first time, VP Education will help you definitely. You can reach out to VP Education, but you can reach out to your mentor as well to have a more detailed and a more friendly conversation. I was busy in my office, so I didn't prepare, but I am the Toastmaster of the day. Can you help me with this, so that I just have one day, but I do prepare well, something like this. So a mentor is your go-to person, guide, and an encourager. I request all of you to have a good conversation with your mentors once you know who your mentor is, and have a ongoing conversation and chats with your mentor, so that you get good learnings. Coming to leadership opportunities, we see that we are the club members. Club members form the clubs form the area comes under division, division comes under district, and then region, and then board of directors, that is the Toastmasters International. So ultimately, we all are a part of Toastmasters International, and this is how the chain looks like. Now, leadership opportunity. As we all know, we are here not just to improve our communication skills, but also the leadership skills. To improve on our leadership skills, we have to take roles and be part of the EC team, that is the executive committee. Now, this picture, this slide shows you the roles that you can take. In the club, there are 7 roles: president, VP education, VP membership, VP PR, secretary, treasurer, and surgeon announce. Now let's just run through a quick interactive. You all have already answered. The president of our club is Toastmaster Hitansha. So I think you all know about that. Can anyone tell who is the VP education?
Sudhir.
Sudhir, right. VP membership?
Pranav.
Pranav.
Pranav. VP PR? Public relations? Who sends the flyers in the groups? Okay, it's me. Okay, I am Vice President Public Relations. So Vice President Public Relations, I will go in detail. They send flyers in the group. So since you guys were not recalling, so that's why I said that. Who is the secretary of our club? It's Toastmaster Shreya. Who is the treasurer of our club?
Ashish.
Ashish.
Ashish, yes. Who is the sergeant in arms? We
Mohit.
just did it. in
Mohit.
the
TM
beginning.
Mohit.
TM Mohit. So this is the executive committee of our club. Now coming to each role and the responsibilities, like yesterday Ria was asking, I don't know what is the responsibility of each EC member. So let's just go about that. We'll start from the bottom. Sergeant at Arms. Sergeant at Arms starts the meeting. The first speaker in the meeting is Sergeant at Arms. We all know Toastmaster Mohit tells the club mission, starts the meeting, do the logistics, the setup. So Toastmaster Mohit will be the first person, if it's the hybrid meeting, will reach the room, will set up the laptop with the TV screen, will start the Zoom meeting, and have all the logistics in place. We'll start the meeting by stating the mission statement, telling the housekeeping rules, and then handing over to presiding officer. So this is the responsibilities of Sergeant at Arms. And one more, at the end of the meeting, you see the voting link for the favorite role players. That link is created by Sergeant at Arms. If Sergeant at Arms is not doing that or has to drop off in between, they will assign it to some other EC member to please create the voting link. Okay, so this is the responsibility of SAA. Coming to treasurer. Treasurer is the bank or the someone who keeps the money or take care of all the funds, who is, we call treasurer is the most rich person. So Toastmaster Ashish is the treasurer. They keep all the funds of our club, the fees. Now the renewals are coming up, so everyone has to pay their dues to treasurer, and then treasurer will process the payment in Toastmasters International, will take care of booking the meeting room and then paying there. So all the funds related responsibility is for the treasurer, right? Coming to secretary. Secretary is someone who sends the minutes of the meeting, who is Toastmaster Shreya. So we usually don't have the minutes of the meeting, but you see the other responsibility of secretary is to give the certificates. So you often see in WhatsApp group, Toastmaster Shreya sends the club meeting certificates. So whosoever won in yesterday's meeting, the certificates will be floated out by Toastmaster Shreya. So that's the role of secretary. Secretary is someone who also plans the EC meetings. They are someone who, executive team also has to meet to plan the operations and the growth journey of the club as a whole. So secretary usually parks the time for EC team to meet. VP public relation, that's me. So you often see me making flyers, circulating flyers, telling in the WhatsApp group all the up-to-date news of the club. If someone won an award, for example, recently Toastmaster Indrajit's article got published in the district level newsletter. So that poem that got featured in the district newsletter is a huge achievement. And how will the club members know about it? So VPPR will stay on top of the things across the area, division, and district, and will send those information, the flyers in the club members group as well, so that everyone are aware. Okay. All right. So now coming to VP membership. VP membership is Toastmaster Pranav. VP membership is your onboarding buddy. So as you all might, you are the new members. So your onboarding was done by Toastmaster Pranav, right? You filled up a form and then you gave the details to Toastmaster Pranav. And he was the first person who told you what Toastmasters is all about when you were a guest. So a guest who is turned into a member, is the process is done by VP membership. So VP membership is someone who will make sure that the guests are welcome, the guests are feeling comfortable, they know their questions are answered, and the guests are converted into members. And once they are members, they have a smooth onboarding, right? They make sure that the new members feel comfortable when they have just joined the club. And VP membership also takes care that the members who are the existing members, they are all active. Basically the connections between the members and everyone are participating. So it's the VP membership's responsibility to ensure that if someone is having any difficulties or any hurdles in their journey, maybe they are going through any personal problems and they are unable to join meetings, so VP membership will make sure that they have at least have conversation with them, and when they feel they are ready to come back to be an active participant in meetings, they make sure that the club member is they are the person who are mostly aware of the what's going on, right? Coming to VP education is someone who take care of pathways, who take care of agenda of the meeting. So who will get what speech, who will get which role, so who prepares the agenda, basically, who is the Toastmaster of the day, and so on. So VP education's responsibility is to have the agenda in place. If someone is not nominating, they will reach out to the members and ask them to nominate. If VP education wants to plan an educational session and invite someone from the outside, maybe a district level or a senior Toastmaster from outside the club to come and share their wisdom, share their experiences, share their thoughts on any topic, maybe how to be a nice speaker, maybe how to write a speech, maybe how to impromptu speaking, or maybe how to be a good evaluator. So all these educational sessions will be conducted by VP education. They will plan it out. So you might know there are joint meetings also happen, where 2-3 clubs, they together meet, and it's a common meeting, joint meeting. So all of that planning is done by VP education. That is Toastmaster Sudhir. President is Toastmaster Hitansha. President's responsibility is to take care of the entire EC team, ensuring that the club is growing and improving. Ensuring president is mostly the presiding officer. President is someone who takes care of most of the things and helping out on any ongoing task. That, for example, renewals is the task that is ongoing task for VP membership and treasurer. But president will keep a check whether we are doing it timely, whether the process is going well or not, and so on. So president will be in charge and will make sure that all the tasks and the responsibilities are being handled well. If someone is not doing the responsibility, the president will make sure to assign someone else and make sure that the meeting is run smoothly. And nothing, if someone is on a 1-month break, so president will make sure that during that EC member's 1-month break, the other person, there is an assigned person who is actually doing the task and nothing is being hampered. So that is the task of our responsibility of our president. And one thing to mention, if you are interested to help club in its operation, because to take club forward, we need help from each and every member as well. So if you have time and capacity and you want to learn how, for example, any of you is interested in VP PR role or secretary role or Sergeant at Arms or VP education. So we have assistance role as well. So Toastmaster Vivek is an assistant VP education. Toastmaster Vishal is assistant VP PR, and so on. So we have assistant role as well. So, and you can just volunteer to help as well. So, you can just say, now I want to learn how to make a flyer, and I feel that I have time and capacity to help you with so many. For example, I have 7 flyers pending on me. So if any club member wants to volunteer in helping the VPPR, they can just jump in and come approach VPPR and just volunteer, right? Because when the time comes of EC election in, the current term is till December. So we will have elections after that, and new members will be voted or elected as a EC team. So, if you from now only onwards try to understand each role, or try to see what role looks like, or reach out to that EC member to know about their role, or to help them, you will be ready when the time comes of election. You will have some sort of experience, knowledge, learnings that will help you decide which role you will nominate yourself for, as well as when you nominate, it will help you win by telling you that you can tell, I was volunteering and I was observing closely what VPPR Shivani was doing in her role. So, that will help you win the election as well. So this was about the club roles. We have area director, division director, then we have the district leaders. This is how the leadership roles looks like. Once you are the club EC team, you can then jump and increase your leadership skills and journey by opting for area director, division director, and then later on on the district level. So currently, Toastmaster Ashish is our area director. He was the president last term, so he's the immediate past president right now, as well as the area director. So this is about leadership roles. Any questions? I would try to wrap up the session soon because I know you have your Sundays. Any question?
Yeah, so I wanted to ask regarding the election process.
Okay, election process, when it comes, you will get to know everything, but to tell in a nutshell, without taking much of time, it's an election where all club members vote. So if you guys come and nominate, any club member who is a paid active member of a club can nominate for the roles. When you nominate for the role, and if you are just one nomination for president, that person will be selected as the president if only one person nominates. But however, if for VP public relations or all of these other roles, there are 4, 5 people, or 3 people or 2 people members who nominate themselves for the role. So we have, during the election, at that very day, we have a speech, 2-minute, maybe, I think 2-minute, yeah, a speech by them, an impromptu on the spot speech, where they will, do their campaign sort of. They will tell why members should vote for them. And then we have a voting in that case, when there is 1+ nomination. If it's a 1 nomination only, that person becomes that, that EC role. This is how the election process looks like. So the club members vote and elect, and that's how the EC team is selected. Yeah. Any questions? Hope that's clear. This we have done already. We know that at the end of the meeting, we have favorite speaker awards, favorite role players, and so on. Yeah, that completes our pathways as well as new member orientation. So any questions? I'll just stop sharing my screen. Any questions? We had an interactive session wherein all of you were asking your queries, but any last questions? Any feedback? Was the session helpful? Did you get your questions answered?
Yes,
Thanks a lot.
Toastmaster Shivani.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a wonderful session.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Shivani. It was a wonderful session. And then you spent also your Sunday just to explain the process and things to us. It was really very grateful because every time we come to the meeting and then 1 or 2 things were a surprise. So
Of course, because there are a lot of things. And I think after this session, you get more and more clarity, and you can reach out to me anytime. You can just WhatsApp me. We can have a call if there are any questions, be it anything. So there is no question like, maybe this is too small of a question. There is no question too small. Just ping and get your question answered. Right. And all the very best to all three of you to start your journeys with Toastmasters. And I hope you have great journey and looking forward to the icebreaker speeches.
Yeah.
Right. All right. And I will definitely ask Toastmaster Sudhir to let you know your mentor, Toastmaster Ria and Toastmaster Ashish.
Yeah, thank you so
right.
much.
Oh, all right. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashish, for you also to join in and help us with recording the session and giving time. Any inputs from you? Maybe if I missed something, anything?
No. That
All
has to
right.
be the joke of the day, Shivani, for you to miss anything. You have covered everything so well. Thank you so much. I echo the comments made by the participant. It was really a wonderful session. And I think recordings will help
Others
others
as well.
also partially, while like
Right.
you said, it's the interaction which build us. I would
Right.
only encourage all of us to pick up areas and don't wait for that one right time. It's never going to be right. It's now, and it's right now. So please
Yeah.
think of the areas which interests you, which will help your life outside Toastmasters as well, and join the team to make it happen, either as a part of associate member like what Shivani said, or as a part of a project. Whatever you wish to do, whatever you aspect you feel that you can contribute or you can make our club better, pick up and join us to make it better. That's the only message from my side. Thank you.
Right. Perfect. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashish. With that, we'll close the session and have a lovely Sunday. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
Toastmaster
Thank
Ashish
you.
also.
Bye.
Thanks. Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you.
Thanks, Ashish, Riya, Preeti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye.
Bye.